what you're doing is expanding your capacity to feel good. So you're learning to allow yourself to feel better for longer periods of time. We all have a cap, a maximum amount of happiness that we will allow ourselves to experience before we manifest or create, co create, self sabotage something that takes us down to feeling like shit again. And then we work ourselves back up. We get back to that place of feeling good. And then we start feeling a little too good, little too good, little too good. All right, there's been enough good feelings going on. Now it's time for the other shoe to drop. It's time for a negative experience to come. It's time for us to lose that job. It's time for a client to default on their payment plan. It's time for a random expense. It's time for a random bill. It's time for blah, 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 blah. We all have maximum capacities for happiness and joy and pleasure. So when you're manifesting and you're taking things to your next level, whether it's your next level in romance, you want to be married, you want to be engaged, you want to be in a committed relationship, it's your next level financially, you're ready to make more money, doing less work, get higher paying clients, close higher paying sales, increase your profits, blah, 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 blah. When you're ready to take your life to your next level, you're saying, I am ready to experience even more happiness. I'm ready to experience even more joy. I'm ready to experience even more good feelings. So let's pause there and looking at your life through this lens, looking at your journey to your next level through that lens of I'm expanding my capacity for good feelings. What happens when we think the thought, I can't do that, I can't get that? What if it never happens for me? What if I never get married? What if I'm single forever? The other day, I had a thought come up. I've been having some thoughts lately. I've been having some triggering thoughts lately, thoughts that I have not thought in a very long time. And one of those thoughts, unsupportive thoughts, was what if I never get married? What if I'm never loved in the way that I want to be loved? What if I never, ever, ever get married in my entire life? First of all, I've seen the girl's natal chart. There's at least one marriage in there. But seriously, on a very serious note, on a very serious note, I want to talk about this fear that we have when we're ready for more and that thought comes up in our mind that says, I can't have that. Or what if I never get that? What if there's not a man out there in the world who wants to love me? What if there's not a man out there in the world who finds me attractive? And these are just thoughts and ideas that I think all of us have at some point, probably during our luteal phase, you know? If you know, you know. So we have those thoughts in romance, and then in work, what if nobody pays this? What if nobody can afford this? What if nobody wants this offer? What if nobody hires me for this? What if I put this offer, I put this business, I put this proposal out there into the world, and the world says, nobody asked for this. Nobody fucking wants this. Nobody's paying for that. What if that happens? And I can't get my desire. So we have those thoughts, and those thoughts are normal. It's just resistance. It's just unsupportive beliefs. But looking at it from the lens of expanding your capacity for pleasure, a lot of times especially as business owners, as women, we're going, well, what if they can't afford, and what if they can't show up in romance, right? What if they can't show up emotionally? What if they don't ever decide that they want me? What if they don't ever take care of me? But if I'm having a conversation about my emotions, if I'm having a conversation about my feelings, in manifestation, everything is feelings, everything is emotion, everything is vibration, right? So I want the things that I want because they're going to make me feel better. This is Abraham Hicks, Law of Attraction, Esther Hicks. I love you. I think she and I have the same birthday, or her birthday is like March 10th and my birthday is like March 12th. She has like a Pisces Sun Capricorn moon. I have a Pisces Sun Capricorn moon. So like I resonate very deeply with Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks. Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks explains, you want what you want because you're going to believe that you believe that you're going to feel better in the having of it. I like to get even more specific. I like to talk about and name specific feelings and specific emotions. So let's give an example. Getting paid at a higher rate is really important to me because getting paid at a higher rate is going to do something different for me emotionally than getting paid at a lower rate. So this is not the Dollar Tree of healing. My business is not a Dollar Tree business. I'm creating, growing, establishing, and learning to maintain a luxury brand. That's what I want. That's my calling. That's my desire. My desire matters. Nothing wrong with Dollar Tree. I shop at Dollar Tree. Not a crime. But there's a difference in feeling when somebody says, oh, I'm just going to pay $25 for this thing. It's only $50. It's only $100. It's only $35. It's only $10. It's nice having sales that are easy and no brainer. And as I continue to grow and expand my prices, normalize receiving the payments of my desire, getting $2,000 sales daily and easily doesn't have to be a big deal. It doesn't have to be hard. It's something that is becoming normal, but you still feel differently receiving a $2,000 payment versus receiving a $25 payment. And I'm going to break this down because there's business owners that are running six-figure, multi-six-figure, seven-figure, multi-seven-figure, so on and so forth, businesses off of $25 products, off of $49 products. But what is the reason why I don't focus on selling a $49 product hundreds and thousands of times and growing and expanding profits and wealth in that way? It's because when I have a course, when I have a program that I have put my heart into, when I have a course and I have a program that I have looked over the landing page and I've tweaked and I've created slides for, I've created a presentation for, and I've taken my own life experiences over the past 6.5, 7 years that I've been doing this personal development healing work, this mindset work, when I'm taking those epiphanies, those mindset shifts, those realizations, those aha moments, and I am packaging them up and I'm giving them to you. My courses are a sum of this incredibly important journey that I have been on this journey of self-awareness, this journey of self-love, this journey of showing up for myself, this journey of fighting for myself, this journey of fighting to take care of myself. To me, that is valuable. And the way that you charge communicates to people what they should expect to you, and it also communicates to people how they should treat you, what you expect, what you require, whether it's in romance or business, is communicating to people how they should treat you, what they should expect from you, what they should expect to get out of you. And everything is kind of sort of transactional, but not in a robotic way, not in a hyper masculine way, but like even in romance, where you have a woman like me who may or may not be labeled high maintenance in certain ways and certain desires that I have in my life. Like the kind of engagement ring that I want. I was having this conversation and joking with my spirit guides, angels, and ancestors earlier. Like earlier today, yesterday, I kind of took a nap today. We don't have time to talk about it. Time doesn't exist. It was a conversation I was having recently where I was talking about my desires for my engagement ring. I think 6 carats is the sweet spot. I've looked at other diamonds, like seen other diamonds and things like that. When it gets too big, it's flooding the hand. The ring is wearing you. Not sexy, not my desire. I think 6 carat oval cut is going to be perfect because my fingers are a little bit chubby, a little chunky. I think it's fabulous. So I'm thinking about this and I'm like, I've been having a lot of come to Jesus moments around certain brands and certain luxuries. I am someone who likes luxury things, but my relationship with money is changing. My relationship with luxury brands is changing. I want things that are actually high quality and things that are actually worth the price. And so when I say I want a 6 carat oval cut diamond engagement ring from Tiffany, I mean I want a 6 carat oval cut diamond engagement ring from Tiffany or better. Because there could be a jeweler in France that I've never heard of that is significantly better. You know what I'm saying? Like, and who am I? And who am I to limit my future spouse in all of his infinite wisdom if he knows a better jeweler that I've never heard of? So I'm having these conversations with myself about my future, about the lifestyle that I want to live, about the things that I want, about the things that I desire. And when you're having a conversation with yourself or with other people, or you're just talking and you're like me and you're sharing your desires, whether it's on your Instagram story or an Instagram post or a tweet about how you want to be treated and how you want to be wined and dined and 69, when you're having those conversations, you're communicating things indirectly about your perception of your own value. I want the things that I want because I want the things that I want. And I'm genuinely and authentically someone who just likes nice things. I just like things that are of high quality, and high quality things tend to be more expensive. So there's that. But when you're having a conversation about your goals and you're having a conversation about your desires and you're having a conversation about where you want to be in your life, what you want to create, what you want to experience, what you're expecting and how you're expecting to be treated, you are indirectly communicating to people what you believe about your own value. We have a million conversations on the internet. I don't necessarily participate in the conversations, but there's a lot of discourse on the internet about what do you bring to the table and blah, blah, blah. And I say it 1,000,001 times. I think if somebody asks you the question directly, what do you bring to the table? I don't think that you should answer it because I don't think that they're very smart. A question like that is something that you should obviously be able to find the answers to by having conversation and getting to know people. I think it's a lazy question. I think it's also silly because we're all multi-dimensional human beings. And so that's a question that you're only going to find the answer to as a consequence of really getting to know someone and their values and how they're going to bring happiness and joy into your life. And it really depends on who you are and what you value, right? Some of us value conversation and value intellect more. And so we really would have to have a partner that we can talk about things with and we can exchange ideas with and we can grow things like businesses with. Somebody else doesn't value that. And so they're not going to really care that much about your intellect or blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I'm kind of getting on a tangent. This was supposed to be a short episode. Focus, 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 brain, divas. We must stay focused. Okay, you're communicating your value. You're communicating your worth. You're communicating how you believe that you deserve to be treated. I consider myself to be a valuable woman. I believe that I deserve to be treated well. I believe that I'm an amazing woman, period. I believe that I'm going to be a really, really, really good mom. Like, really good. Like, really, really good. Like, top 1% of mothers on planet Earth. Like, Natalie Hughes is up there. I know that. I know that for a fact. I'm really good at parenting myself. I'm really good at taking care of children. I'm really obsessed with children's development and their safety and security and creating and raising children into being fully functioning adults while also being fun and silly. And I could talk about that forever. I'm totally top 1% of parents. I don't have kids. On the internet, you're not supposed to say that you think that you would be a good parent if you don't have kids because then it's not credible. But honestly, you don't have to fucking believe me. I don't really care what you think. This is what I know to be true. So I have beliefs about myself and my value, the value that I bring into people's lives just by existing in it, the value that I bring into a man's life just by existing in it, and the value that I bring into a man's life just by being the mother of his children. You are so welcome. I think that obviously deserves a 6-carat oval cut diamond ring. To me, that's just obvious. And I don't have to have that conversation every single time I bring up the kind of engagement ring that I want. All of that is implied by me expressing this is the kind of engagement ring that I want. I'm communicating indirectly what I believe about my value. So when it comes to your asking price, when it comes to my courses, when it comes to the things that I charge, I'm communicating directly and indirectly through the prices that I charge how I want you to treat my work. I want my work to be significant. I have different manifestation and mindset courses and programs from different women. And the course that I paid $3,000 for is the course that I go back to the most. I've paid between dozens and thousands for work and for courses. The courses that I got for $50, $100, $500, I've gotten value from them. I've learned from them. I watched the videos. I did the homework. Things helped me. There were mindset shifts received. But it was the program by the woman who talked about her work like it was a big deal, who talked about her program like it was amazing, who genuinely and authentically believed in the value of her work. Through her price, she communicated this, and through the things that she said, the things that she talked about on her podcast and videos, she communicated directly and indirectly through the program, how she handles it, how she markets it. She's communicating this is valuable. You're communicating to people how you want them to interact with your content, how you want them to interact with your work, what you expect them to get from your work through your prices. Do I really expect a $50 workshop to change my life completely? No, I don't. Do I expect to get some nice mindset shifts? Yeah. Do I expect it to help me see things differently? Yeah. Do I expect to see some positive forward movement in my life as a consequence of getting into it? Yeah. But if I spent $50 for a workshop and my life wasn't forever changed and rearranged as a consequence of it, I'd be like, well, I mean, it was $50. I don't want my work to be that in the lives of women, in the lives of my students. I don't want my work to be, well, I mean, it was $50. It was great. I liked the trainings. It's nice listening to her. I did the journal prompts, blah, 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 blah. I don't want it to be that, because that's not the intention that I've created my programs with. I didn't create any of my programs with the intention of you listening to the shit one time, listening to the shit a couple times, being able to regurgitate the information inside of it, and then walking around as if you know everything and you've gotten everything you need from it because you memorized the contents inside of it. And that's all. And you never have to go back into it. I never wanted it to be that. I never, ever, ever wanted it to be that, because there's value in it. I am listening to my programs right now. I'm listening to and going through the receiver's mindset because I'm in the middle of the launch, but also I fucking need the receiver's mindset right now in my life. Going through the program and listening to the trainings, I'm like, oh my God, how did she know? How did you, a year ago when you were recording this training, know that I was going to need to hear this today? The most recent training from the receiver's mindset that I listened to is the collapsing time training. It's module 3 of the program, the main training of module 3. And I've been feeling in a funk lately, in just like a working funk, a manifesting funk, a showing up for myself funk, because of what we're talking about today. I'm going to circle back to it, don't worry. The whole expanding your capacity for pleasure thing. When you know the thing that you need to do, but you don't do it, it's an unworthiness thing. I know that if I show up and I do this work that I'll get a better result, but I can't bring myself to do it. That's a pleasure cap. So anyway, go back to the main point. The main point that I'm making is that when I get paid $25, it's fabulous, it's wonderful, it's great. When I get paid $2,000, I feel valued. And so when we have those moments of, will anybody want this? Will I get to have my desire? Will I get to be married? Will I get to be taken seriously? Will I get to be blah, 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 blah? Instead of looking at it as, who's going to want me? I have to know who's going to want me. I have to have a pre-launch, and I have to have a wait list, and I have to have this many people sign up, and then I'm going to expect 10% conversions and blah, 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 blah. Instead of focusing on the external and asking yourself, how am I going to convince people? Or how am I going to be sure that people will choose me? You want to focus on the vibration. You want to focus on the energy. You want to focus on what are you going to be feeling when you have what you want and desire. And recognizing that that is something that you deserve to feel. I feel like I'm talking too much because I'm working on a new free training. It's going to be really good. But honestly, you're going to listen to this podcast episode and you're going to get the free training anyway. So who cares? I'm just going to say what is on my heart to talk about today. So When it comes to my services, when it comes to my courses, I love a $25 sale. I'll accept a $25 sale right now. Don't get me wrong. You want to send me $25? You send me $25. You can find my PayPal, my Cash App, my Venmo. Do that. Shit, send me $25 just because I accept. I'm always going to say yes to money. But when I get paid $2,000 for my work, I feel my creativity and my intellectual property are significant in the lives of others. When I successfully charge more, I feel that my work is valued in the lives of others. I feel like a valuable woman. And I feel more respected. And it makes me feel so much better because women get amazing results from my work. And when women pay you $25 and they get a really amazing result, you can start feeling really resentful really quickly. I know for a fact you're going to come into my world. You're going to show up for yourself. You're going to have access to the program for all of eternity. So even if you don't utilize the work in the first month, even if you fall off during the second month and you come back 6 months later, at any given point in time, you can come back to that program and create massive transformation in your life. I need to be receiving an amount of money that makes me feel valued, that makes me feel satisfied, that makes me feel supported, that makes me feel adequately compensated for the powerful transformation that you can create through the use of my fucking work. I feel that when I'm receiving a $2,000 payment for one of my courses. And it's a one-to-many offer. I was saying earlier, I was watching back that module 3 of the Receiver's Mindset program. I've been in a funk lately, not doing the things that I know to do. But I listened to that training and it lit a fire under my butt that made me want to get to work. It's not a video where I'm saying, you have to show up and you have to do this. It's not that at all. Just listening to me talk. Just listening to me teach. I was like, oh yeah. I was like being reminded of things that I already know. And I needed to be reminded again. And I'm like, oh yeah. I do get to create. Oh yeah. I am powerful. Oh yeah. I am just reducing my reactions to unwanted things and blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah. I can have what I desire right here and right now. I can create positive change right here and right now. I'm the woman who recorded the training. And still, sometimes I forget the shit that I've taught. And it's amazing to have that reminder. So I value the work. I want the people coming into my world to also value that work. I don't just want a sale. I don't just want money coming into my world. When people pay me and they don't utilize my shit, I don't want to say that it insults me and it like I lose sleep over it, but I do not like it. Because my work is meant to be valued. And of course, are there some people who are going to really value $25 and they're going to pay $25 for an offer and they're going to go over it a million times and it's going to become a major part of their spiritual toolkit? Sure. Is it the average person? No. Is it a majority of people? No. So, taking it back to the beginning of our conversation, expanding your capacity to feel good. When it comes to selling my courses, when it comes to selling my work, that's just the example I'm giving. When it comes to your desire, whatever you want, you think you're going to feel better having it. How do I want to feel? How will I feel if I'm having $2,000 course sales coming in every single day? I have a community of women who are ready, willing, and eager, excited to get into my programs, excited to log onto my website and go through the trainings again and again and again, and continue learning and continue expanding their self-awareness and continue practicing and telling a new story and being the leader of their minds and creating powerful, positive results and changes in their own lives. When I have that experience, I feel valued. When I have that experience, I feel, excuse me, I'm sorry, I hit the mic. When I have that experience, I feel significant in the lives of others, and I feel valued, and I feel pride. I feel proud of myself. I feel proud of my accomplishments. I feel proud of all that I've learned. I feel proud of my ability to teach. I feel proud of my marketing skills. I feel proud of how far I've come in my business. Those are all feelings that I deserve to feel. Those are all feelings that I do not feel getting paid $25 four times. It's fabulous. I'll accept it. You do not have to hold back $100 from me. I will receive that. But does a $25 sale make me feel important and significant and valued and desired? No, not really. Does it make me feel supported? Yes. Does it make me feel grateful? Absolutely. But those are not the feelings and the experience and the pleasure that I want to bring into my life at this time. At this time, I want to feel more pride. At this time, I want to feel desired. At this time, I want to feel valued. I deserve to feel those feelings. I deserve to have that experience. So, expanding your capacity for happiness, expanding your capacity for joy, allowing yourself to feel better for longer periods of time is about looking at your goals, becoming clear on how it feels to have what you want, and being willing to allow yourself to feel that good for longer and longer periods of time. And then when it comes to manifestation, because we're living in a vibrational reality where your dominant vibration is being reflected back to you, as you and your mind, through your mindset work, are feeling more of those desired feelings more and more, those experiences must show up into your life. What do I mean by that? I mean, I know that I want more $2,000 sales every day in my business. I know that when I'm experiencing and receiving $2,000 sales every single day in my business, I feel significant. I feel valuable. I feel valued. I feel respected. I feel desired. I feel successful. I feel proud. When I have a daily mindset practice, which changes day by day, week by week, when I have a daily mindset practice that is taking me into, that is producing those feelings of pride, desirability, value, being valued, when I'm feeling that every single day, experiences that bring that pride and that value and that feeling of being respected and desired, experiences that cause me to feel those ways must come into my physical reality. So sales must come into my physical reality because plain and simple, I'm a vibrational match to it. So I'm expanding my capacity for happiness. I'm expanding my capacity for joy. I'm expanding my capacity for feeling good in my manifestation process instead of saying, in my mindset, instead of saying, who's going to pay me this much? How am I going to get these sales? Is this even possible? What if nobody wants this? Now I'm looking at it from the perspective of, do I or do I not deserve to feel desired, valued, and proud? Of course, I deserve to feel desired, valued, and proud. I am inherently deserving of feeling desired, valued, and proud. And the more that I feel desired, valued, and proud, the more I attract customers and clients and profits, sales that make me feel desired, valued, and proud. Law of attraction. Expanding my capacity for happiness. I'm not waiting for the sales to come in and then I'll allow myself to feel desired. I'm creating the experience of feeling desired, valued, and proud right here and right now, regardless of what's happening in my physical reality. I'm changing my vibration, and then my reality, which is a reflection of my vibration, changes in alignment with that. In romance, the idea and concept that came into my mind, what if I never get married? It's a ridiculous thought. With this mindset shift, the new thought, the better feeling way of seeing things is like, do you really believe that you only deserve to feel lust and not love? Do you really think that you only deserve to feel desired physically, but not protected, not shown up for, not taken care of, not loyalty? That doesn't make sense. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to feel pleasure. There's nothing that can be going on with you, with your body shape, your body type, your body weight, your emotional needs. There's nothing that can be going on with you that could ever make you unworthy of feeling loved, protected, shown up for, and loyalty. Unworthiness, unsupportive thoughts, unsupportive beliefs. When you boil it all down, it's all coming back to the story. I can't feel that good. Will I ever get to feel that good? Will I ever get to feel that satisfied? Will I ever get to feel that happy? Will I ever get to feel that satiated? Will I ever get to feel that proud? Will I ever get to feel that supported? And the answer is, of course you get to feel that way. You can feel that way now. You can feel that way through a meditation. You can feel that way through an EFT tapping script. You can feel that way through a scripting journal entry. And you're looking at your goals, you're looking at your desires, you're looking at what you're ready to receive, and you're asking yourself the question, do I get to have that? Can I really have that? Will people really show up for that? Your mindset shift is to say, hold on. What is the feeling that I want to feel here? And do I really believe that I'm undeserving of that feeling? When you look at it from a feeling standpoint, when you look at it from a vibrational standpoint, that unworthiness starts to seem really illogical, which it always is. I want more money. Why do I want more money? Because I want more savings. Why do I want more savings? Because more savings makes me feel more supported and it makes me feel more confident. And if I have my nest egg and my emergency fund and my several months expenses saved and put away, then when I apply for apartments in New York City, I'm doing so with next level confidence in my ability to pay rent. The idea that I don't get to have more money, the idea that I don't get to have more savings, the idea that I don't get to increase my income boils down to, hold on. Okay, I have to take a break. Hopefully that muted in the way that I needed it to mute. Okay. So the idea that I don't get to make more money, that I don't get to save more, that I don't get to do the things that I want to do in my life, when you water all of that down, we're going to arrive at that same story. Do I really get to feel that supported? Do I really get to feel that confident? Do I really get to feel that secure? And it's like, of course I fucking do. Duh. Of course I fucking do. Of course I deserve to feel that supported. Of course I deserve to feel that loved. Of course I deserve to feel that taken care of. Of course I deserve to feel sought after. Of course I deserve to feel confident. Now I'm not talking about the apartment. I'm talking about everything. Of course I deserve to feel valued. Of course I deserve to feel loved. Of course I deserve to feel desired. Of course I deserve to feel protected. Of course I deserve to feel this good. Of course I deserve this much pleasure in my life. You're expanding your capacity for happiness. You're allowing yourself to feel better for longer and longer periods and amounts of time. That's your mindset work. Am I willing to allow myself to feel that supported? Am I willing to allow myself to feel that confident? Am I willing to allow myself to feel that desired? Am I willing to allow myself to feel that sought after? And you're listening to this podcast episode, and I'm such a great teacher that in your mind, you're going, well, yeah, duh, of course. By the way, you're welcome. Rate this podcast 5 stars. But in real life, it's trickier. Because in real life, your thoughts are like, oh, I had a really good example in my mind. And then my mind just like went completely blank. I'm so angry. I just had a really great example. Okay, fuck it. Throw that thought out of the window. We're expanding our capacity for happiness. We're expanding our capacity for joy. We're allowing ourselves to feel better for longer and longer periods of time. But what gets in the way? We feel unworthy. Okay, I remember my example now. In my business, when I had tens of thousands of subscribers on YouTube, like 23,000 was my max before I deleted my old YouTube channel. When I was posting, even though I had videos that had tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of views, even though I had tens of thousands of subscribers, even though I grew my YouTube channel with so much ease, when I would go to post new content, I wanted to talk about astrology. I was like, I can't talk about astrology because that video only got 1,000 views. When my love pick a card readings got tens of thousands of views. I can't do the things that I really want to do. I was telling the story that I can't feel that good. I've been realizing and having epiphany moments of like, if you want to offer natal chart readings this week, you can offer natal chart readings this week. And you get to talk about the things that you want to talk about. And you get to teach about the things that you want to teach about when you want to teach about them. There are no rules. You get to be successful doing it all. You get to be successful doing what you want to do when you feel like doing it. You get to create a million different offers and they all get to be successful. They all get to be sought after. I wasn't telling that story 2 years ago. I wasn't telling that story 6 months ago. I wasn't telling that story 3 years ago. I was telling the story, ooh, is it going to work? I don't think it's working. Look at the results that I'm seeing in my physical reality. I can't do that. I have to stick to what works. I have to focus on what's proven. I have to focus on what's tried and true only. But that's incredibly limiting. Especially when you're like me and you're a manifesting generator, or you're a woman who has a million different creative talents and ideas, gifts, and skills that she wants to give to the world. I get to be successful in all of it. That means there's no limit to the amount of success I get to feel. There's no limit to the amount of victory I get to feel. There's no limit to the amount of valued that I get to feel. There's no limit to the amount of significance and respect that I get to feel for myself and that I get to receive from the world. Expanding your capacity to feel good. Having a limit on your capacity to feel good, on worthiness, is when you think about your desire and you think, well, I can't do that because blank. Well, maybe I could do that in 5 years once I've earned that. Well, who knows if the world would even want to see my television show? Who knows if the world would even want to read my book? I'm just going to help somebody make their dream a reality instead. But if you worked on your original television show, but if your album was in the top 20, in the top 100, you would feel immense levels of pleasure and pride, success, happiness, joy, value, significance, gratitude, abundance. Did I already say pride? I love the feeling of pride. Pride is so good. I'm a fifth houser. I have a lot of Leo energy in my chart. I have North Node in Leo in my 10th house. I really like the feeling of pride. Pride is great. That feeling of popularity is just a feeling of belonging. If you want to feel popular, you deserve to feel popular. You deserve to feel belonging. But you're going, can I really have that many views? Can I really have that many subscribers? And worthiness is the thought that says, what if I lose it all? What if I get it and lose it? You boil that down, you're telling the story, I can't feel that good. That good feeling has to come to an end at some point. That good feeling cannot be a lifelong thing for me. I'm going to get that success. I'm going to feel that pride. I'm going to feel valued. And then it's all going to come crashing down because I can't allow myself to feel that good for that long. That's not sustainable. That's not available to me. I don't get to feel that good. Your mindset work is the work that you do on the journey from where you are to where you want to be, so that you're not feeling limited and driven absolutely fucking insane. So that you're not sabotaging. And of course, it helps you achieve your desires more quickly. Because you're not sabotaging. Because you're not undermining yourself anymore. The thoughts of unworthiness that show up say, I can't do that. I can't go that far. I can't have that much success. I can't be that loved. I can't be that respected. Oh, no. I can't feel that good. But it's a lie. And that's why your manifestation process is you expanding your capacity to feel good. Expanding your capacity to feel safe, even when your nervous system is activated and you're thinking about your goals and you're thinking about your desires and you feel unsafe and you're expanding your comfort zone. It's all the same thing. You're expanding your capacity to feel good. You're expanding your capacity to feel safe. You're learning how to feel safe to be seen. You're learning how to feel safe having more money sitting in the bank. You're learning how to feel safe investing at your next level. And you deserve to feel that safety. You deserve to feel that support. You deserve to feel that level of respect. Walking into the corporate office of one of your clients to do a presentation, to lead a workshop. You deserve to feel that level of respect, of having a group of professionals who respect what you have to say and are willing to implement changes in their lives and who create positive results using your work and your teachings and what you have to offer. You deserve to feel that level of respect. You deserve to feel that experience of being valued when you get that check, when you get that direct deposit. You deserve to feel that feeling of support, that feeling of pride, and that feeling of excitement that you get when you're consistently checking off your savings goals, one goal after another, as the money stacks up in your savings account, as the money stacks up in your investments. You deserve to feel that joy. You deserve to feel that success. You deserve to feel adored in a connection with a man in partnership. You deserve to feel loved. You deserve to feel cherished. You deserve to feel desired, and you deserve to feel beautiful. Those are not feelings that are reserved for white women. Those are not feelings that are reserved for skinny people. Those are not feelings that are reserved for anybody else on planet Earth that's not you. You deserve to feel good too. You deserve to feel loved and honored and accepted and respected too. Your manifestation journey is a journey of expanding your capacity to feel good. And as you practice and become more comfortable, feeling desired, feeling loved, feeling valued, feeling sought after, feeling adored, feeling supported, feeling protected, those experiences must manifest in your physical reality. I was talking with myself about powerlessness, one of my best trainings in the world. It's so straight to the point and impactful. It's a bonus training inside of the receiver's mindset around powerlessness. I was having a conversation with myself about it and how so many of us are telling the story. Well, what if I change my vibration and I change my energy and nothing in my reality changes? I can tell you from experience that's not the case. But we have that fear. And it's like, okay, let's look at that. The idea and concept that I can change my mindset and I can change my energy and I can change my vibration. I can change my belief systems. I can rewire my subconscious mind. I can do the inner child healing work. I can clear space and tell a new story and expect good things to happen and nothing will change in my reality. It's really an interesting story to tell because we only tell that story around negative shit happening in our lives. We're never telling the story. Well, when we're living in that unworthiness, when we have that kind of hiccup, we're never telling the story. No matter what I do, millions of dollars just keeps coming into my bank. Even when I spend it all, millions of dollars just keeps coming into my bank. I cannot spend all of my money because millions of dollars just keeps finding me. No matter what I do, I try to get rid of the money. I try to push the money away, but the money just is always coming to me. It doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter who I talk to. It doesn't matter who I bank with. The money is always coming into my world. I'm always getting sales every single day. Even when I don't post in my business for months and months and months, people are watching my videos from years ago, from months ago, from decades ago, and they're buying. Sales are coming in every single day. No matter what I do, I can't figure it out. I cannot get the sales to stop. We're never telling that story. Unless you're the leader of your mind, you're deliberately creating that, right? Unconditional support and all of that. But when we're having that issue, where we're like, what if I'm really powerless? You're not just struggling with feeling powerless. You're telling the story, my life can't get good. My reality can't really change. I can't really be happy. I can't really feel that good. No matter what, yo ho, a shitty fucking life for me. That's the story that you're telling. It makes absolutely no sense. Because why? Why would you be living a life where only shitty things are happening to you all the time, no matter what you do? And it never changes. God does not hate you. The world does not hate you. You are not doomed. You were not created just to be unhappy, just to be unsatisfied, just to lose, just to be a failure. That's bullshit. We're never telling the story I just can't figure it out. I just can't figure out how to get the money to stop showing up. But we do tell the story. I can't figure it out how to get the money. I can't figure it out how to get the sales. I can't figure it out how to get the job. I can't figure it out how to get the husband. I can't figure it out how to get this good thing that I want into my life. You're willing to believe and you're willing to accept that life has to feel like shit for you. Bullshit. You're willing to believe and you're willing to accept that your life is supposed to be made up of unhappiness, discontentment, dissatisfaction, a lack of fulfillment, neglect, abandonment. That's an unsupportive belief. That's unworthiness. And it's illogical to think that way. It does not make any sense at all. You mean to tell me you're living in a world that is committed to your failure? Doubt it. If you were living in a world that was committed to your failure, you wouldn't have access to a podcast that is over an hour long of somebody pouring life into you and teaching you amazing life-changing concepts. So you can't tell that story. You can't tell the story that you're living in a world that is committed to your failure when you are living in the age of information. When there are teachings and trainings from a myriad of people all across the globe. The personal development industry is not a billion-dollar industry because nobody's fucking winning. Nobody's creating goodness. Nobody's life is improving. We're not living in a world where there are more millionaires today than there have ever been in life because we're all living in a world that is against us. You're not living in a world where it is incredibly easy to start a business, to generate extra income, where you can access people all over the world. I have clients and students in Germany, in France, in Canada, in Shanghai, in South Korea, in Chile, in Mexico. Did I already say France? Did I say London? Did I say Ireland? I have clients, students, customers all over the world. Oh, the United States. I feel like that one's a little bit obvious because that's where I live, but maybe it's not. I have access to women all over the world. It is easier today than it has ever been before for a woman to get her gifts, talents, and skills out there. For someone to find the people that need and want and desire what they have to offer. Everything that I have just said is a fucking fact. You can't live in a world where those are hardcore facts and simultaneously say the world is against me. No matter what I do, I cannot win. I'm not getting my way. I'm not getting what I want. I'm not getting what I desire. You can't even go there. We can't even say that story. I don't want to go there. We should never go there. Because it's bullshit. So what's the truth? The truth is, you have the capacity to create a better feeling life experience for yourself. The truth is, when you show up, things do get better. The truth is, when you invest in yourself, I'm talking time, energy, effort, of course, cash money, you do see positive results. You do create positive change. But you're not going to see that if you're telling the story it's not happening. You're not going to see that if you're telling the story it's not working. You're not going to see that if you're telling the story that you're powerless. And if you water all of that down, that story of powerlessness, it goes back to you. Your capacity for happiness, your capacity for enjoyment, your capacity to feel taken care of, your capacity to feel heard, your capacity to feel seen, your capacity to feel respected. These are things you have to expand deliberately. And that expansion process happens by looking over your past, by healing those experiences where you were communicated directly or indirectly, where it was communicated to you that you can't be that happy, that you can't be that supported, that you're not respected, that you're not good enough, that you're a failure, that you're a loser, that you can't win, that you're powerless. You've got to look at that shit. You have to change those stories. And you have to build out a mindset that supports your expanding capacity for happiness. You have to feel worthy of more happiness. You have to feel worthy of more support. You have to feel worthy of more joy. You have to feel worthy of being loved. That is what I'm teaching you inside of the Receiver's Mindset course. How do you feel worthy of those good feelings? Manifestation in and of itself is easy and simple, but it's complex and it's nuanced. Because you have to know how to soothe your own inner children. You have to know how to heal and expand your own personal capacity for joy and happiness. You have to know how to feel good and righteous around receiving your desires so that it stops being, I wish that I could have more sales. I wish that I could increase my income. I wish that I could make that much every month. I wish that I could be loved in that way. And instead, it becomes obvious. You feel that it's right for you to be loved in that way. You feel that it's good for you to receive your desires. You feel like, yeah, of course I get to have this. Yeah, of course I get to receive this. Yeah, of course I get to experience this. Today's podcast episode is a powerful training, but just hearing the shift, although you will get epiphanies and you will be motivated, and I am so amazing and wonderful, just hearing the shift is not enough. You need the journal exercises. You need the EFT tapping. You need the breath work. You need the extras, the tools that help you to actually integrate these shifts so that it stops being theory and it becomes an embodied practice. There's a lot of people in the world who can memorize and regurgitate spiritual shit, mindset shit. It's not going to do you any good just because it's in your memory. It needs to be something that's embodied. It needs to be something that you know. It needs to be something that you live. And that's something that happens over time, layer by layer. That's why you want a program that you can come back to. That's why you want a program that can help you to go deeper and deeper. I'm watching back the trainings that I have done over the years. And it's taking me deeper and deeper in my own healing. And every single year as I go back into the Receiver's Mindset course, we open up for enrollment. Enrollment's not going to close this year, but our bonuses and different things like that will change. As I come back every single year with this program, and I go deeper, I'm like, oh, things that I understood at a certain level last year, I'm now getting it at an even deeper level. And I feel like I've explained that already, but I'm trying to express what I'm feeling emotionally in words. Like right now, I'm working on a training around what does it mean for you to matter, your feelings to matter. And I'm going back over the trainings inside of the receiver's mindset. And I've already talked about and written about what does it mean for your feelings to matter. But today, I have an even deeper understanding of what it means for your feelings, your emotions, your vibration, your desires to matter. It's deeper than any of the other trainings inside of the course. And so, of course, I'm adding that to the course now. But it's also so beautiful to see how what started off as me understanding self-worth is when I know that I'm an important, significant woman who matters and belongs. What started off as that simple definition has grown and expanded into something so massive and so meaningful that now, as you're going through the program, whether it's spoken directly or not, you're expanding into every single facet, every single part of that phrase. What does it mean to be important? Your desires to be important. What does it mean to be a woman who is significant, valuable in the lives of others? What does it mean to be important? What you want to be important? What does it mean? I said that already. What does it mean for you to matter? I've talked about that already. What does it mean for you to belong? That's module 2. That's that feeling of popularity. That's that feeling of feeling desirable. That's that feeling of right here and right now, I deserve to feel like I belong in this industry. Right here and right now, I deserve to feel like I belong in that group of people who has millions of dollars. I belong there even though I've never been to the Maldives. I belong there even though I didn't create $1 million business in just 5 short years. I belong there even though I don't have a G-Wagon. I belong there even though blah, 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 blah. It's an incredibly beautiful program. I highly recommend it. It's currently open for enrollment. It's called the Receiver's Mindset. And if you want to learn more about the program, get a breakdown on each module and what I'm giving you inside of each module, you can click the link in the description box. You can read over the client student testimonials, and you can enroll. The link is in my bio to do that. I love you lots. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will talk to you in next week's episode.